Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to discuss about AWS Cloud. Yes, in AWS, there are 200 plus services which is offered by the AWS. But you should not worry about all those services because there are 10 to 12 foundation services which if you can learn, you can easily integrate those services with any of the AWS services. That's the reason it is called the foundation services. So in this video, we are going to discuss all those foundation services which are very commonly used and easy to learn as well. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So here you are able to see the list of the foundation services on my screen. So let's go one by one. The first service which is here, it is a networking. Then compute, serverless, user management, cloud storage, content delivery, database, notification, email service, monitoring and DNS service. So those are the foundation services which you should aware about it and you should learn about it. So let's go little deep on those services. So the first service which we are going to discuss, it is a networking, and under the networking, the first service comes under the networking. It is called the VPC. VPC is a virtual private cloud. So AWS is offered you a networking service by which when you are using that service, you can create your own network in your personal account or in your organizations as well. So these are the components of the VPC: subnets, internet gateway, NAT gateway, route table and VPC peering. So those are the components which basically required to create a VPC in AWS. Now move on to the other service which is the compute service. So when you go through the compute service, the first thing comes to you, it is the EC2 instance. EC2, why it is called EC2? Because it is the name of the EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. So that's the reason it is called the EC2. So EC2 is basically a virtual server which is offered by the AWS. So there are three types of EC2 instances you can provision: general purpose, spot instance and reserve instance. So the general purpose instances are those instances which you can create on demand and you can pay for whatever you are going to use and how much time you are going to utilize that server. Similarly, there are a spot instance and reserve instance. So a spot instance are something which you can create by using the bidding method of AWS, and reserve instance are those instances where you are going to pay upfront for that particular server. So once you provision the instance, at the time of provisioning, you should also use some other components which are the key pair, AMI. AMI are the operating system. Then EBS, which is called the Elastic Block Storage. It is a hard disk which you are going to attach to your EC2 instance. Then security group. Security group is a firewall, a kind of a virtual firewall which you are attaching to your EC2 instance. Then under the compute, there are two different services offered by the AWS. One is the load balancer. There are two types of load balancer, ALB and NLB. ALB is a application load balancer and NLB is a network load balancer. Also, AWS is offering ESG. ESG is a auto scaling group. Now move on to the serverless. Since earlier we discussed about the servers, now discuss about the serverless. So the serverless service which offered by the AWS, it is the Lambda and Fargate. To run any small scripts, you can use the Lambda for serverless. Now move on to the user management service. So AWS is offering IAM. IAM is a stand for Identity, Access and Management. So by using that service, you can create your user groups, policies, roles. Who is going to access your account? How they are going to access your account, what all the services they can access, everything you can manage through the IAM. Then the next service is cloud storage. Cloud storage is basically you can store your data over the cloud in your AWS. So there is a service called S3 bucket. So basically why it is called the S3 bucket? Because the name of the S3 is Simple Storage Service. That's the reason it is called the S3 bucket. You can store any kind of objects in it. Either it can be a video file or log file or txt file or anything you can store in it. In S3 bucket, you should learn about bucket policy, access control list, cross-region replications, and versioning. Then there is a service which is called the content delivery. So under the content delivery, the service name is CDN. So it is used to deliver the content at the edge location. If you want to deliver your content in different countries, you should use that service. The next service of AWS, which is database service. So AWS is offering the managed databases, which comes under the RDS. It is called the relational database service. The next service in our list is notification. So any kind of a notification like instance start, stop, or any billing access, or any kind of a notifications, if you want to send it to your team, you can use the SNS. It is called the simple notification service. Similarly, we have one more service for the notifications purpose. It is called the simple email service, SES. The next service which we are going to talk about is monitoring. So under the monitoring, there are two different services offered by the AWS. One is the CloudWatch and the next one is the CloudTrail. So CloudWatch will give you the information about logs of your services. Like if you are having a EC2 instance running, you can check the logs of the service on your CloudWatch dashboard. Similarly, using the CloudTrail, you can monitor your AWS account, like who is doing what in your account. The last service which is in our list, it is the DNS. So the DNS service which is offered by the AWS, it stands for the Route 53. So Route 53 is basically, the 53 is basically a port number for the DNS in common. So that's the reason they named the service as a Route 53. Under the Route 53, you should learn about the record sets and DNS, how to create your record sets and how to do the routing method. So this is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something new. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.